Here.
Mr. Fields?
Here.
Go to the Pledge of Allegiance. We have a volunteer.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a volunteer for the invocation. I'll do it.
Father in heaven, we thank you for the opportunity to have a serve in this community. Thank you for the freedoms of this country. We ask that you might be able to bless our country, that we might be able to continue with our freedoms, and just bless our community, that things will go well for our students and our staff here at our school, as well as for the families in our community. We thank you for all thy many blessings, and we say these in Jcusd. Amen.
Thank you. Go to adoption of the agenda. I motion that we adopt the agenda as it is presented.
I'll second it.
Okay. Call for the vote. Dayton?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Rhonda?
Yes.
Eldon?
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Floyd, who seconded that? I heard two voices.
Eldon.
Okay.
The minutes for the 8/11 meeting. I wasn't here, so.
What do you mean the 14th?
14th. I'll make a motion that we approve the minutes of the regular meeting.
I'll second it.
Call for the vote. Eldon?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Myself, I abstain. Andrew?
I'll abstain. I wasn't on the board then.
And Dayton?
Yes.
Okay. Now the minutes for the September 1st meeting. I motion that we approve those. Okay. Dayton? Andrew?
Yes.
Myself, yes.
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 I figured that out. I was trying to help you along there.
Moving on to reports with the superintendent.
Sure. You have a short written report from me, but we've been busy. School's off to a good start, and I'll let the principals talk more about that and maybe answer some questions that you might have. But other than that, as you can see in my report, we're closing down some of our, or hopefully closing down some of our construction projects, like namely the one in this building, the roof. We have a couple other ones that should be starting soon. HVAC project at the wrestling weight room building, a roof project at the high school main campus, and a roof project at the elementary main campus. Some other things on my report. Excuse me. I wanted to thank Andrew Bushman for filling our vacancy that we had on the board. Also thank Jeremy Miller for his service. We actually got Jeremy a plaque, and he couldn't make it tonight. We were going to try and recognize him, but we do appreciate that. It can be a thankless job sitting on the board. Those of you that are willing to, the pay's not very good, but the time you guys put in, we do appreciate it. So anyway, and I do think it makes a difference. I also made a note here about the athletic registration software and program that they put together at the junior high and high school. Very nice. If you've had a chance to work with it, it's pretty impressive that our small school put that together. So I wanted to commend Mr. Miller and his team for that. There's a short update on the on-site learning labs that we had in place. So if you have questions about that, I'm willing to address that. The buses, they seem to go okay today, and some measures that we're taking to try and protect our kids. So take your time to look that over or ask me any questions that you'd like an update on.
Are there any questions for Mr. Phil? Okay. Mr. Miller?
Yeah, so I'll try to, I covered some of it last week, but I'll hit some highlights here. First day of school today went great. Yeah, kids were excited to be back, it seemed like, and everything went really smoothly. I mentioned last week that the high school gym was being finished up. The last coat of finish goes on tomorrow, so that's the last step in the project. Looks great. Very happy with the company that did that. So, one of the biggest things I want to talk about today, you see in my report, Eldon's not going to like this, but sorry. Eldon, and I'm talking with him, I was wrong. I have him that he coached 25 years, but he's actually pushing 30 years coaching. He's done a bunch there. He was running our high school football program and do some work. He had to step down. He's still helping out, but we just wanted to take time to recognize him and the efforts that he's put in there. That's a long time. In fact, my freshman year, he was my high school baseball coach, coached me all through high school, and he started even before that. So that shows you how old he's gotten. Yeah, so come on out. We got a plaque for you.
Good job.
Whether you
Close
like it or
your
not.
eyes. We appreciate you.
He retired. I don't know if he retired, but he resigned from his coaching position, volunteer coaching position with the district this past year. Seems like he was coaching before he got out of high school. He's not seen any other coach endure around these parts, so.
Yeah, no, we're grateful. I know he was a great coach when I was in high school, and I've coached with him. I've had that opportunity, and is excellent in that too. So we're grateful.
Thank
Last thing, some questions came up on standards for junior high social studies, 6th grade and on. So I just wanted to take a quick second to kind of talk how that works out. The way that the standards are set up is instead of covering the same topics multiple years in junior high, they spread out topics. So the question was, why don't we hit the World War II and the Holocaust as much in 6th grade in world history? And the reason being is instead of covering it there and then covering it in U.S. history, they have it separated so that you hit different topics on different years and not hit them twice. That's just how they've set up the Arizona State Standards. So we do hit all the topics. World War II is huge. It's a big unit and one of the bigger topics that we discuss. So, if you have any questions, that's all I have. But if you have any questions, I'm ready to answer them, I hope.
Does anybody have any questions for Aaron? Thank you. I've coached with Coach Larson also. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I've learned a lot from him.
He's a good coach and a good guy. Danny?
Yes, sir. You have my report there. Just echo what Mr. Miller said there. Had a good start to school today. Kids were happy with the things that we had asked them to do with regard to our guidelines for a restart. Just want to say thanks to everyone for helping that. We're doing a lot of things that are different. Areas that our custodians are having to clean because of our different locations for lunch and stuff. But we're all just working together and doing the best that we can, and I believe the students are very appreciative of that, and they had a fun time today, I believe. So that's all I have, unless you have any questions for me about school or anything else.
My kids really enjoyed coming back to school. The one kid that I have that doesn't necessarily like school, he even said, "I'm glad we came back." When I picked him up after school, how did it go? It was great. I'm so glad we came back.
I don't know which one it was, but they were out there playing football with me today, and it was just like last year, so we were having fun.
So, and I observed kids coming into school this morning and brought my kids up here, and it was really well organized and went pretty well. I was actually pretty impressed. I think you guys did a good job. I actually went to the high school too, so I thought we did a good job. Thank you.
Yeah, and I echo that. My wife, she worked today. Of course, she was tired from that, but she had a smile. This was a few minutes ago because my youngest son, he struggles with going to school. He'd rather be home digging and making mini bikes and lawnmowers and everything else. And he came home today and said, she says, "How was today?" And Anakin's first word was, "It was awesome. It was great." I don't know if he's ever said that in all of his other years. So tomorrow may be a different story, but today was awesome.
The first day was
We're taking it. We're taking it.
He's got a different principal now. though.
Yeah. Yeah, that's. I told him, I says, now you get to go visit with Mr. Miller. So I think you might like visiting with you later. So. But yeah, I think it really. I think it started with the bus drivers and everything. It just was great. Cafeteria, everything, just no waiting in line and everything. It wasn't perfect, but it was really good.
That's good.
Could I throw one more thing out along those lines? One thing we haven't talked a lot about is the extra burden that this places on our teachers. You know, they're not only are they teaching in class, they're working with distance learning, kids at home, they have to wipe down all their classroom in between classes at the high school, and I'm sure they do it throughout the day at the elementary. Just a lot of extra work, and they have done it without complaint, and are excited to be back and working with the kids, and I'm just very grateful. We work with an incredible group of teachers.
Correct. The kids that were excited at my house to go to school, and I have some of those same kids that would rather stay home and dig a ditch than, but they were excited to go today. And I haven't got to talk to them because I just went straight here from work. So, Steve?
Yeah, just to, you have my written report, but just I want to highlight a couple of things. The USDA has extended the free lunch breakfast thing through the end of December, or until their money runs out, whichever comes first. And so we are serving those free meals every day to our students. Also, I just wanted to make you aware, the custodial department has some, we've purchased some spray mister things. It's a backpack that you fill with a solution, and they can go in and very quickly sanitize an area, including doorknobs, desks, all the surfaces, and it really saves us actually quite a bit of money, not only on the materials, but on their time. They can do it a lot quicker. Now, I'm told it's effective. So all I can do is go by, what I've read and been told, but that's happening at the schools. We've also are in the process of redesigning our website, and we're adding an app that actually our parents, our students, community members, employees for that matter, can download, and it links into our website, so it'll be hopefully easier for people to access things and see them. Sometimes when all you have is your phone and you're trying to read a calendar or something like that, it's really difficult. And so we're hoping that can help improve communication with people. Also, it kind of helps with our links in with our social media, and notifying students, parents, staff, if there's some kind of a notice that has to go out. So we expect to roll that out probably sometime in November. So anyway, that's pretty much it for my
Thank you. Is there any questions for Steve? Okay, Jason?
Not much to report. We're trying our best in the IT department to accommodate the teachers with the students coming back. There is a challenge with trying to get teachers to teach virtually and in the classroom, so we're trying to set up equipment to do that. But other than that, we're keeping them very busy. Any questions?
I'll start if it's okay. So you're adding some technology to accommodate those teachers, like webcams, is that right, or document cameras? Why don't you tell me a little bit about that?
So the challenge is the teachers were teaching from the desks when everyone was virtual up at the board. They're trying to teach that way. And to get a webcam to be able to see what's written on the board and the audio to sound good enough for that too is a challenge. What we're doing now, until I come up with a new system, is we're actually using the dot cams that we already have in place. The dot cams are actually a very nice camera that you can focus in on the board. No problem with that. They have a low frame rate, which means that they're choppy, but you can see and hear the teacher fairly well at the elementary and high school levels. There's even some teachers that are even taking their own initiative and they're using their own cell phones. Cell phone's got a great camera and a great wireless connection. They mounted their cell phones up and they're teaching from their cell phones too. So lots of little tiny things. Hopefully, by the time I get the system built, we won't need it.
What about the app that Mr. Mills was talking about? Do you have any comment on that?
So the app for the website,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, so the app is actually going to be, the part that I'm the most excited about is going to be the easiest or the most fluid way to communicate with parents, with students, and even with staff members. With the click of a button, we'll be able to communicate on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all at one time. And if you download the app on your cell phone or on your device, that message goes out live to your phone. So the little notification that you get on your phone for whatever app you have downloaded, you'll get a notification from Joseph City School District saying, hey, school's canceled, snow day, or whatever announcement we want to push out. Which makes it super, right now we're struggling trying to communicate live or in real time with parents and with students, especially with things changing so many times, so much. So we're going to, I think that's the most exciting part about the whole thing is almost instant communications with parents, students, and teachers.
Thank you.
That's good.
Is there any other questions? Okay, thanks.
I'll take maintenance. So I did ask Brad to, if you would stay home and just watch the meeting if you could. But he's been busy the first day of school, as you can imagine, with little things here and there, trying to fix and finalize to make it a pleasant place for students and staff. Working on the air conditioning units has been a challenge, and we've got a cold front moving in. He's trying to work with that at the same time. It's going to get hot again right after that. So little things like that, but a lot of small calls here with the start of school. And there's probably things I'm forgetting, but I do appreciate his willingness, his flexibility, willingness to jump in and get things done. Some painting they've done. Let's see.
They painted a bunch of dots out behind, or stars out behind the elementary school to help our out when they line up in the morning. Replaced one of the hoops on the elementary that finally rusted off. The bolts had fallen off. They were on the backboards, I guess it's called.
And finally finished installing or repairing your entryway as well,
Yes,
right?
yeah,
That
it's
took
working
some
really
time.
good. Buzz-in system is working.
Awesome, that's good. So other than that, and transportation, that's been going good as well. They actually painted the bus barn this past week, so I'm excited about that. So if you have any questions on maintenance, feel free to let me know.
Thank you. All to the public, was anybody signed up?
No one's.
Okay, so we'll skip that part. Number 4, consent agenda items. That's all the way down through 4F to 5. That whole,
I move that we accept the consent agenda items as listed.
I'll second it.
Remember, you can talk about any one of these, or prior to the motion, you can remove them from the vote to remove them. So don't feel like this is something you can't touch or ask questions about at any time.
what's the fundraiser for cross country? Do they have a representative here too?
I can tell you about it. They are hosting some races, some runs throughout the year. You know, usually they've done one at 4th of July and Founders Day, just for the community, where they pay $5 to run or whatever it is. And so they're looking to do that again. They'll have some t-shirts that they offer as part of that run that people can buy. And they're adding a couple more Instead of just doing those two, they're going to hit a couple other holidays to earn some money for their team.
Is there any other questions?
I think that's a great idea.
Community really likes that one. We have some runners in town. Good one.
I think we have more runners in town than people realize, me not being one of them. But I appreciate the effort people put forth, and I know a lot of people travel a long ways to do these runs, so the more we could accommodate, the better. And it's something the kids can take with them and do the rest of their lives.
Any other questions or comments we need to look at in any of these? Okay. Call for the vote. Eldon?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes,
Myself, yes. Dayton?
Yes.
Andrew?
Yes.
Okay.
on this one, do we need to hit each one?
No, you could do it by letter unless you want to pull one. So you have a recommendation from me, Mr. Flake, to approve a new position, distance learning coordinator. That position is going to help us. So we have roughly, I would say, I actually said in the backup, but I think it's close to 50 students who, unless our numbers have changed, which they may have with this first day, about 50 kids that are, their parents are selecting to learn at home instead of come in. And so that was part of the arrangement for our plans. Distance learning program. It's not the preferred method of instruction. However, we feel like it's important given the situation. Some people just don't feel comfortable, or they may be sick and they can't, just a lot of reasons. So we want a coordinator who can help our teachers take a little bit of that burden off of them. And this position can work some from home. We're anticipating maybe 29 hours after talking to a week. I was talking to the principals about this. We'd like to make it an hourly rate. Mr. Mills has worked up some things on that, so after you make a motion, and you could discuss that or you could ask questions. So that's my recommendation.
I make a motion that we approve 5A, the distant learning coordinator.
I'll second it.
Okay. Do we have some discussion?
Or questions, anything.
So this is just until we don't have kids at home on this distant learning?
That's right. Now, we probably will have some the whole year. And, but as those numbers decrease, the hours will likely decrease.
Will we utilize this position for children who are homesick as well?
Yes, I should defer to the principals, but that's
Yeah,
my understanding.
that's what we're doing, distance learning, that's what it's. So if we have someone that's ill for another reason, they're home for.
I would like to see it not just be quarantined and COVID
Yeah,
related. A kid gets the chicken pox or the mumps or the
appendix,
measles or
tonsils
whatever.
taken out, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, they need, it's always been an issue for our kids to stay caught up. And I see this as a way, just like the whole thing that we've had to go through the last few months, should make it easier to keep those kids up current with the other kids. I see this as one more step of making it easier for our students to not be getting behind.
So, yeah, that's the plan now. If it's by some, it's probably a long shot, but if every student comes back, this position as it's designed right now would end. But most likely, we would ask that person to come in and do some work here, because our numbers would increase if those kids came back. Instead of just absorbing them, this person may come in for additional elective pull out for the elementary or junior high, high school. there is someone on this list that was not given 24 hours notice. I'm sorry. So we'll start.
Executive session.
There's a name on here where they weren't legally notified. You can to go into
No, we can't vote on this when we come back out.
you can take care of all this business and public right now. There's a name on here we can't legally go into executive session.
We can talk about a position, right? Is that, what do you want to do? No, we can't talk about a position. You have to talk about the person, and they have to be notified, so that's fine. We can do that as an option. We can take that away and start with it and break it down differently. Let's do that. There you go. So we can table the one position.
Yeah, I made your motion to take
I retract that motion of all of those. A, of 5B, all the way through. I take that back. Let's look at,
You want me to make a motion?
Yes, please.
I'll make a motion that we approve all of the assignments, renewals, volunteers, and resignations as listed with the exception of I would pull out the distance learning coordinator.
is there any discussion about that? Call for the vote, Hayden? Andrew? Myself, yes. Rhonda?
Yeah.
Sheldon? Yes.
So I'm going to make a motion that we table this.
whatever your motion is.
I'll make a motion that we table the position of distance learning coordinator.
Okay, just now to be make sure we're clear. You don't have to table it. You can
Discuss it in public and go ahead and vote yes.
this motion you have to vote on to table it or not, and then we can entertain another motion. The only thing I'm saying is we should not go into executive session for this person.
Is that what we want to do, is table it?
It's individual, you guys. That's what you can vote on. You can ask me questions, and we can discuss advantages of doing that or not doing that. But we don't have consensus. We can just vote on it. You can ask any questions you'd like to.
I have some questions about it, quite a few questions about it. This is something that we put out and got the best candidate.
This was put out at the last minute to accommodate a time-sensitive situation that we're dealing with, not having a gap in a teacher. So that's kind of what pushed it so quickly here. But so we did not advertise it to everyone. However, we this is an employee that it's been, maybe they're capable of doing this. And it was strong recommendation that was without hesitation made to me. So, maybe concerns now. I don't know. Principals are here. Feel free to ask them. So we didn't advertise it long. It was advertised for a few hours. Not long. It's an in-house applicant to a position, that helps.
Was that the only applicant?
Yeah, we didn't really advertise it.
So it's been posted.
It was posted.
Yes. We didn't advertise it.
Posted in the house.
Yes. Well, actually, I think it was posted.
It was posted choosing to what I'm saying is I don't think that you can have a person working 27 kids. That's what I'm saying. I envision. Ask some of these parents that are home working with 5 or 6 kids how many hours they're spending.
No, I
And
agree.
I'm
I
talking and
understand the
spending.
need. I
Yeah.
understand.
Now I'm
the
saying
need.
I'm gonna give him 13, 14 kids, and that's his responsibility to be a liaison between the parents, the teachers, the kids, and everything, and try to keep it all juggled so we don't
So we're looking
lose
to hire
them.
more of these?
No.
Or
The greatest
Possibly, no.
the greatest challenge is the younger kids. You know, you get a little more independent as you get up into high school.
Between the principals and I is we feel we can keep this 29 hours a week won't be a problem. We're confident that we'll meet that, if not more. But details on it is tough. If we say he's only working with first and second,
So
I
how are
wouldn't commit to
we,
that.
as the school board, gonna be able to judge, other than just taking Mr. Hutchins' word for it, that the needs are being met?
Of the students,
Yeah.
well, assessment. We're gonna assess the students. We're gonna check for learning and understanding. So we have assessments, we have curriculum, we can check for that. We can provide reports. Now, they're not always accurate. Sometimes students don't want to test, sometimes they don't test well. But there are some things we can do with those kids. We're hoping we don't need this position. We really would love to see everybody back.
And the other thing is we can have this person, just like we've done to other
I need it first too.
But it is, I mean, we don't like putting them in a pressure situation. Unfortunately, it's what it is. You feel comfortable with the fact that your administrative team is in consensus about it. But if you feel too much pressure, I definitely want to hold it against you if you take it.
So are we back to moving everybody on the list? I'll second it.
Call for the vote, Ellen,
Yes.
No.
Andrew, so we're down to 5C. Personnel appointments. I motion that we approve the 5C support staff and extra duty as presented. Is there any discussion?
No, we have a PE teacher.
Actually, we still do, yes, you're correct.
Well, I don't think we can put somebody else in when we've already got somebody there.
The motion should be corrected here. I guess. And let me know if the governing board wanted to approve to you position, but there's some risks with that. It's not typical practice. We could have, I don't know, you guys thought it's a good idea.
Venus is on the agenda. Can we not make that change?
Oh, I don't think so.
Are we gonna need a PE teacher?
Any substitute can cover anyone who's a sub. We talked about it on Friday, and feel free to speak up if there's something we need to know here, because we haven't spoken a lot about this. There was an issue, I think the person was moving and had to get some kind of commitment. So I don't know the level of commitment because I didn't individually speak to the person.
We had an opening that we're going to have to fill as a PE. Because he was the ideal candidate.
Like we said in that other comment, I just remind you a resignation will come in a matter of days. Moving the deadline and stuff, you know what I'm saying?
So can we do this one pending on resignation?
I would suggest we pull that out of the motion, and if we receive the resignation for this position, we have an emergency meeting.
Well, as the way it's set up, he fills the appointment
rescind your motion to exclude the monthlies.
Make a motion that we approve the personnel plans as listed with removing Caleb Layton as PE teacher.
Could we at least ask if people would be available if you got the paperwork in order that we could have a special meeting to approve that? I don't like the idea of us not having someone working. So we either need the old one working or we need the new one working.
Trying to piece it all together here. So
That would be,
let's figure out one form. Just have a meeting on Thursday or something like that. Just we need to get the position filled.
If it's vacated, it's not here working.
And if we need to talk legal terms and all that kind of stuff, then we need to make sure we're above board. So hopefully we can get people to wait until we get all the legal stuff figured out. I don't know if they can.
no, we did 2 weeks. They could finish it for 2 weeks. Like, no, he's not hired. Teaching PE, yes, yeah.
So he was there.
Correct.
This is the first time we've had a federal position with this, it won't be the last pressure with that.
Okay, so,
Somebody can tell Jason back there that I'm getting texts that they're having a hard time hearing anything. So,
Jason, they can't hear us at home. Is that what you wanted?
yeah, that'll work.
now we're down to, 6A. I motion that we approve the performance pay plans for
That one's the teachers.
teachers.
So 6AI.
6AI.
Okay. Are these the same ones that we do pretty much every year that we have to do the
Yes.
301 or?
It's commonly referred to as 301. And this is, actually we simplified it a little bit more this year.
Okay.
Focused it is a good way to look at it. But I'll take any questions you have.
But we need a second first.
Oh, I thought Dayton did.
Oh, I didn't hear him, sorry.
Dave needs to speak up.
Sorry. Some
Well,
of us are
I
deaf.
can hear you to tell.
Do we have any discussion?
Andrew, that's part of your job. You're sitting next to him.
To talk for him?
You have to let everybody know because he don't talk.
So call for the vote.
I'm not an idiot.
Myself, yes. Andrew?
Yes.
Dayton?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
Eldon?
Yes.
Okay. 6A, counselor performance pay. I have a motion that we approve the counselor performance pay plan.
All second.
Thank you. Is there any discussion on that one? We've just separated out the counselor, because this is the first time I remember seeing a counselor one, is that correct?
Yeah, we've had it, the reason I have to pull this separate, well, I think it's good for a few reasons. An accounting reason. The Prop 301 or Classroom Site Fund can only go to teachers. We legally can't spend that any other way than what Steve has put there in the backup, in a report. But it can only go to teachers, not counselors.
So this is a separate
So
one.
yeah,
So
we
they
did
can
one,
just-
we don't have to do one for counselors, but we would like to.
So this is new?
No, we have done this in the past.
But the counselor just been,
This is the first time we've separated it
Okay.
out.
No, we've separated this out every year, Steve,
Never
sorry.
mind.
And I don't mean to correct you, no. It
Okay.
started about 4 years ago, with a different counselor.
okay, I guess.
And the plans were different. This year,
Okay.
the plan is a little different, so we have done it. I just, I don't know what else to say.
Andrew.
Abstain.
Okay, I'm just making sure that we got it. Dayton?
Yes.
Andrew?
Abstain.
Myself, yes. Rhonda?
Yeah.
Eldon?
Yes.
The principal performance pay, I motion that we approve the principal performance pay plans. Okay,
This one's just, this one is new, brand new, but, funded out of a grant, and I think it fits our situation currently really well, only for this year at this time, until,
so it's only a 1 year,
yeah, all the plans are, but the specific grant, the substance prevention grant, ends this year, and that's how we'd like to fund this one. Because there's some extra things they have to do, you can see in the backup, curriculum and surveys.
is there any discussion? Call for the vote, myself, yes. Andrew?
Yes.
Dayton?
Yes.
Eldon?
Yes.
Rhonda?
Yes.
And 6B, I motion that we give the superintendent his performance pay payment.
Second it.
Do we need to have any discussion? This is 2.5% of his salary that the school board retains to vote for that he gets. We do it twice a year, 2.5% twice.
Yeah, and you guys can go in executive session, of course, and do whatever you like. This is by law, every district does something like this. Sometimes it's not withheld, sometimes it's extra or whatever. Sometimes it's a greater percent or a less percent. I used to thought, I think that it was 100% of superintendents were performing. It still is. No, but 5% is tied to the plan, so. And there is the evaluation scale rating that's attached to that, so feel free to vote how
Does
you like.
anybody feel like we need to go into executive session to talk about it?
So you said there's an evaluation scale rating, or?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what the,
That PDF that's right below it.
yeah, that's right
So I'm
there.
looking at, I don't know, maybe.
We do have a new board member that's been through this. We can go into executive session and discuss it if you like.
And you don't necessarily have to use that. You guys can create your own criteria. You can say, we want.
Just an FYI, we don't usually use it. But the reason being is we, as a board, are evaluating constantly. I feel, that's why I don't use it. just sharing with you.
I'm just trying to fill in the blanks and I'm not trying to single anybody out, but I just want to make sure that everybody gets evaluated under the same basic method, whether it's the superintendent or the principal or whatever. And if we're supposed to evaluate the superintendent, we need to evaluate him, I feel, under the same guidelines that he evaluates or whoever evaluates other people, so we kind of keep it as
I'm an
main
easy
things possible.
evaluator. No, I'm kidding. That's
Go for it.
So, no, we have, there's a separate evaluation that all superintendents have to have in December.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then there's, this deal it's an additional one. But, you can change it however you want, and write a specific one, but it's done in, March and September, typically.
So
December.
we don't sit down and actually, we haven't checked the boxes in it. But we do use it as far as, you can go down through there and see where it talks about leadership and district culture, policies and governance, communication and community relations and things like that. And you can, with working with the superintendent, with Mr. Phillips, you can go, yeah, I think he does a good job on that, or I don't. But we haven't officially sat down and checked the boxes.
Right, I've read it, so I know what I'm looking for. Does that make sense?
And you could vote no without a reason. Don't feel like you need to explain it.
Are we all good?
And like I said, if you want to go in the executive session and discuss it or whatever. Okay.
Call for the vote, Eldon,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes,
Dayton,
Yes.
myself, yes, Andrew.
Yes.
Second reading of, before I do it, do we need to pull any of these out? Do we need to look at any of them separate? Or you want me to motion them all together?
I'd like an emotion.
okay, go ahead, and then I'll say how.
I'm just, does
Make a
anybody need them
motion.
pulled out?
Just make a motion.
I make a motion that we do all of those policies, BEC, all the way down to KIRB.
I'll second.
Okay,
Okay, at the risk of someone thinking that we're just rubber stamping this, I want to call to everyone's attention. Policy KB, parent involvement is misspelled.
That would be me,
Well-
sorry.
Huh?
That would be me, sorry.
Well, no, I mean, if we read it, we catch these things, right?
Yeah.
That jumped right out at me.
Typo.
It's not a deal breaker.
So I can review each one of these policies if you'd like.
which one's the one about?
We reviewed them a couple, or
Yeah, last month.
Mm-hmm.
Which one's the one about
It's the,
mask,
it's
facial?
the two that you have on the paper here. It's the regulations. They're not policy, they're regulations. JICA-RB student dress and KI-RB visitors to schools.
It does say in here that the superintendent can make exceptions. So, I mean, if there's anything you don't like in there, then we can hash it out with the superintendent.
Well, my concern is, and it's been the whole thing from the beginning, if we have a rule about masks or face shields or whatever, and we don't enforce it, is that gonna get us in trouble later? If we don't have it,
why would you think we're not gonna enforce our rules?
I'm just saying, because some places do, some places don't. I'm not saying we are or we aren't. I'm just saying that could be something that comes back. I'm wondering.
Just like something else, if we don't do what we're supposed to do, it can come back on us. And the intent is to do what we're supposed to
So
do.
can we eliminate face coverings?
No, by law, we have to have a policy in place that requires it.
Okay.
With, what Mr. Bushman said here. And we do have some things in place for those who really feel it's a health concern or whatever. But I did make the change that we discussed last meeting that you guys pointed out. So it says coverings, not cloth masks.
Yeah.
And it's not 2 years old or whatever, it's 5. So those changes were made, I think I actually highlighted them in the backup.
Is the state
You
saying?
also
Still says-
included,
Page of 2 on there.
That's the legal wording underneath, or in the actual policy, what that is saying is our policy can't require masks for under 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not really that big of a deal.
I'm not saying that this is the rule or not, but when I was at Walmart yesterday, they said the rule's 10. Anybody 10 and under doesn't have to.
well,
We don't want to.
it was hot yesterday and I could not breathe in a mask. And I went to Flagstaff and I went in places without a mask and not a single person said a word.
That is very true.
So there you have it.
I think with the exception in the superintendent, or with that clause in the superintendent can make exception, he can constantly evaluate and do what we need to for our school. That's why he's in that position, so.
And if we get to the point, where they're not saying you need to wear a face covering, we can always remove it from policy, correct?
We won't have to have a school board meeting and say, ditch the mask. You can just, as a superintendent, say,
That's right, that's why we came.
that's why it's next on the line.
I'm just curious, do we have very many people that signed that waiver?
I don't know.
I don't have an accurate count, but I would guess 20 or 25.
I have more than that, but I couldn't give you an
But
exact
I don't have an
number.
exact number. I'll ask and get it to
So,
Mr. Fields.
A quarter maybe?
That's
Yeah.
maybe 10% on my campus. 10.
What difference?
I'm just curious how many people are doing the waiver.
The only problem I see with the waiver is how do you know
Who's who?
when they're walking down the halls? I guess if they have a mask on, they don't have a waiver, they don't know if they do.
Something like that, yeah.
Yeah.
It is
We
tricky.
need to have a mass police position.
No.
Do you
that's
want
not
it?
what I'm
Give them a
saying.
star when they walk
No,
in.
I ain't going around them little beggars, they make me sick.
Wow. Okay. So are we good with it? Okay. Andrew?
Yeah.
Dayton?
Yes.
Myself, yes. Rhonda?
Yes,
Eldon?
Yes.
Policy and regulations of the first reading of,
This is another set.
More policies.
adoption, first reading is all it says.
of.
Oh, harassment advisory, 6/11/77.
670.
I motion that we approve that, the policy of regulation adoption.
Second.
Okay, yeah, so I can answer any questions
Is this
about this.
additions or changes?
No, this is a change. Update the policy because of the change in federal law that's actually still being contested. Has to do with Title IX. If you ever heard Title IX, it's usually any discrimination based on sex or gender. And now with the new definition that's been written into law, sexual harassment is a Title IX, or can be a Title IX issue, and we have to investigate and report it as such. Prior to this, it wasn't Title IX, but we have to
So that's the
update.
only distinction, is it's becoming Title IX. And before, we still had to investigate, it just wasn't under that title.
Right, we didn't have to report it as, and it wasn't an EEOC violation.
And this isn't a suggestion, this is the law, correct?
Yeah, actually it is, so.
It is a suggestion?
No, it is the law as it stands. It's being contested.
Okay.
If
and
you're
then-
asking technically, do you have to prove it? I would strongly advise that we do it. I've actually already posted the update on our website because that's the laws
And
and.
that's with the understanding if it,
Right,
if it loses in the courts, then
Then we can
we
go
will
back.
come back and get rid of it.
absolutely.
Because all it is clarifying, kind of, just, I can't say it, but it's political BS. You read through it, it's taking out this and just reinstating like that, just to try and mold the law. Not really changing anything, it's just
So call for the vote, Eldon,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yes,
myself, yes. Andrew,
Yeah.
Dayton,
Yes.
discussion for next meeting's agenda, we need to get a board secretary or clerk, whichever one it is. Is there anything else that we need to?
Maybe a teacher or two.
And the next,
Can we
Go ahead and ask.
can we revisit this? The whole whatever it is, distance learning deal. I mean, is that okay if we revisit? Can I ask?
Yeah.
The principals, what if I don't want to put them as I don't even know how
Don't
to
worry
say
about that. Yeah, I'll take it if they can.
it. Just is this going to put you in a nasty bind if we don't do it? I'm not saying that you're strong arming me, but I mean, what do we need to do to support the school the best?
Well, there'll be some hoops and stuff we'll have to figure out and jump through, but that's what we.
It'll put us in a bind, but we'll figure it out.
We've been doing this, so, but, you know, the changes, the teachers are doing both now, right?
And that's just asking a lot for the teachers. A lot.
I think having that position is a benefit to our students. Am I correct?
Yes.
I mean, that's how you gotta look at it. Those kids are gonna need that added attention.
And remember, you've approved the position,
We
you just
approve the
haven't approved
position, we
anybody
just
in it.
don't have somebody in the position. So we need
Is
to
it
get
something
somebody-
that AIDS could help us with? I mean, AIDS could help us with that anyway, right? With the online part of it, helping teachers.
Everybody pretty much has a full-time job right now.
That's what I'm
but
saying.
They could, I could, principals could,
We've been there.
the teachers could, you know.
But what is
options are
it
endless.
what is it taking those people
Yeah.
from to be able to do
Well,
that?
that's why I'm asking, is there aides that could help with that?
Or a sub.
If we
Or a sub, or,
if we take them away from their other
Other
jobs.
kids,
Yeah.
take them away from other kids and other duties. Yeah, they could do it. And take them away from other kids and other duties, and they could do it just like me. I can go do it, but I might stop doing something else.
yeah, I understand that.
Again, it's the students that are gonna suffer.
This online stuff, someone told me I had to do half my work online or do everything twice, I would go find a different job. And I'm the boss. So I mean, maybe I'm changing my mind on it, how we're gonna look at it, but I think maybe I'd make a motion, we go ahead and approve them.
Well, I don't think we can do that.
We can't revisit
Can't
that, we
revisit.
just
We
revisit
can,
to
we
talk
can on
about.
another meeting.
Okay.
But I think we can have a special board meeting when we figure out where we are on those two positions.
All right, we'll get to work on that.
Okay, so the next board meeting is scheduled for October 13th.
October, oh yeah, I guess it would be.
October 13th.
Holy moly,
And then there's the Navajo County Association meeting October 20th also. But we can discuss that at the next meeting. Is there anything else that we need to look at in a future meeting? No? Okay, I motion that we adjourn the meeting, time being 7:12. Okay, call for the vote, Eldon,
Yes.
Rhonda,
Yeah.
myself, yes, Andrew,
Yes.
Dayton.
You need to
Yes.
sign?
Yeah, there's one thing I need Mr. Flake to sign for sure. Thank you guys for your time.